Throughout history, nature has unleashed its fury, leaving behind tales of devastation and resilience. From colossal earthquakes to relentless floods, these events have shaped civilizations and altered the course of humanity. Join us as we delve into the 10 greatest natural disasters ever recorded. The year is 1931. China faces an unrelenting monsoon. Torrential rains swell the Yangtze, Huai, and Yellow rivers, lifelines to millions, now transformed into agents of destruction. Deforestation and overgrazing have left the land defenseless, accelerating runoff into already swollen rivers. The rivers breach their banks, unleashing a wall of water that swallows villages and towns. An area larger than England is submerged, homes and crops destroyed, millions displaced. Disease and famine follow, compounding the tragedy. The 1931 China floods remain one of history's deadliest disasters, a stark reminder of nature's power and human vulnerability. Yet, amid the devastation, stories of resilience and rebuilding endure. The Yellow River, known as China's Sorrow, lived up to its name in 1887. Years of neglect and silt buildup left levees weak and the land vulnerable. That summer, relentless monsoon rains pushed the river to its breaking point. The levees failed, unleashing a torrent that engulfed villages and farmland. Over 2 million lives were lost, and countless more were left homeless. The flood devastated the region's economy, leading to famine and unrest. The 1887 Yellow River flood stands as a grim testament to the consequences of poor infrastructure and the might of nature. It forever changed the course of Chinese history. In November 1970, the Bay of Bengal became the stage for a disaster of unimaginable scale. It was here that the Bola cyclone, one of the most powerful and deadly storms ever recorded, began to form. The swirling mass of clouds and wind grew rapidly, fueled by the warm waters of the bay, and soon transformed into a tempest that would change history. Bola's winds intensified, reaching a terrifying peak of 205 kilometers per hour, as the cyclone barreled relentlessly toward the densely populated Ganges Delta. The sky darkened, and the air filled with the ominous roar of the approaching storm, leaving little time for people to prepare or escape. A massive storm surge, driven by the cyclone's immense force, crashed into the low-lying coast of Bangladesh. Seawater rushed inland, inundating entire villages, sweeping away homes and turning fertile farmland into salty wastelands. The sheer scale of flooding was unlike anything the region had ever seen. In just a few hours, the landscape was transformed. Homes were swept away as if they were made of paper, crops were destroyed, and entire communities were erased from the map. Families were separated, and countless lives were changed forever by the storm's fury. The official death toll reached a staggering 500,000, making Bola the deadliest tropical cyclone in recorded history. The devastation was so widespread that entire towns vanished, and the true number of victims may never be known. Many victims were never found, lost to the raging sea or buried beneath mountains of debris. Families searched desperately for loved ones, clinging to hope amid the ruins, while rescue teams struggled to reach the hardest-hit areas. The disaster exposed the extreme vulnerability of coastal populations, highlighting the urgent need for better early warning systems and stronger flood defenses. It became clear that without improved preparedness, such tragedies could happen again. Bola's legacy reshaped disaster preparedness in the region, leading to the construction of stronger cyclone shelters, better communication networks, and a renewed commitment to protecting those most at risk from nature's fury. On January 12, 2010, Haiti was rocked by a magnitude 7.0 earthquake near Port-au-Prince. Buildings crumbled, trapping thousands beneath the rubble. The presidential palace and hospitals were destroyed, leaving the nation in chaos. Streets became impassable, and survivors searched desperately for loved ones. The earthquake claimed over 200,000 lives and left millions homeless. Haiti's fragile infrastructure collapsed, exposing deep challenges of poverty and governance. The disaster highlighted the urgent need for international aid and better disaster preparedness. Haiti's struggle and resilience remain a powerful lesson for the world. On the morning of December 26, 2004, the world was forever changed. Deep beneath the Indian Ocean, a colossal undersea earthquake, measuring a staggering 9.1 on the Richter scale, ripped through the ocean floor, The seismic rupture unleashed a force so powerful that it sent shockwaves racing outward, disturbing the very fabric of the sea above. In mere minutes, waves towering over 30 meters high formed and began racing across the ocean at jetliner speeds. These monstrous walls of water slammed into the coastlines of Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and India, obliterating everything in their path: homes, businesses, and entire communities. For many, the only warning was a strange and sudden retreat of the sea, exposing the seabed and leaving people puzzled. Few realized this eerie phenomenon was a harbinger of disaster, and precious seconds slipped away as the tsunami approached. Entire villages were wiped out in a matter of moments. The force of the water reduced buildings to rubble, swept away roads, and left behind a landscape of utter devastation and heartbreak. The human toll was staggering. Over 230,000 people lost their lives, with countless others injured or missing. Families were torn apart, and survivors faced unimaginable loss, making it one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. In the aftermath, the world came together. International relief teams rushed to help, and the tragedy highlighted the urgent need for global early warning systems and stronger international cooperation to prevent such loss in the future. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami became a turning point, prompting nations to invest in advanced warning technologies, improve disaster response training, and foster greater collaboration to save lives. Today, memorials stand in silent tribute to those lost, reminding us of our planet's interconnectedness and the shared responsibility to protect one another from nature's most powerful forces. In April of 1815, Mount Tambora erupted in Indonesia with a force that stunned the world. The eruption was so massive that it is considered the most powerful volcanic event in recorded history, dwarfing even the infamous Krakatoa. The mountain, once over 4,300 meters tall, lost more than a third of its height in a matter of days, as its summit was blown apart in a cataclysmic explosion. The explosion sent a colossal cloud of ash and sulfur high into the stratosphere, where it circled the globe. Sunlight was blocked for months, plunging the region into darkness and causing temperatures to plummet. The skies turned an eerie shade of gray, and the sun appeared as a faint reddish disk through the haze. Pyroclastic flows, scorching avalanches of gas and rock, incinerated everything in their path, wiping out entire villages and forests. The devastation was immediate and total, but the eruption's effects would soon be felt far beyond Indonesia, rippling across continents. The following year, 1816, became known as the Year Without a Summer. Across Europe and North America, unseasonably cold temperatures gripped the land. Snow fell in June, rivers froze in July, and crops withered in the fields. Farmers watched helplessly as their harvests failed, leading to widespread famine and hardship. Food prices soared and communities struggled to survive. The eruption's global impact revealed the far-reaching consequences of volcanic activity. The atmospheric haze dimmed sunlight worldwide, disrupting weather patterns and causing years of climate chaos. Scientists now know that volcanic eruptions can alter the climate on a planetary scale. Tambora's fury disrupted societies, forcing mass migrations and changing the course of history. The disaster inspired art and literature, and even contributed to the invention of new technologies as people sought ways to adapt to the harsh conditions. It remains one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions ever recorded, a benchmark against which all others are measured. The legacy of Tambora endures in scientific research and in the collective memory of humanity. The disaster is a stark reminder of nature's ability to reshape the world in an instant, and of our vulnerability to the forces that lie beneath the Earth's surface. On July 28, 1976, Tangshan, China, was struck by a magnitude 7.8 earthquake. The city, home to over 1 million people, was devastated in seconds. Buildings collapsed, trapping thousands as most residents slept. Factories, schools, and hospitals were reduced to rubble. The official death toll reached 242,000, though some estimates are much higher. The disaster exposed the dangers of inadequate building codes and lack of preparedness. Tangshan's tragedy led to major reforms in earthquake safety and response. It stands as one of the deadliest earthquakes of the 20th century. In 1839, the thriving port of Karinga, India, faced a monstrous cyclone. Winds exceeding 150 miles per hour and a 40-foot storm surge obliterated the town. Ships were tossed inland, Buildings swept away and fields salinated for miles. The cyclone killed over 300,000 people, erasing Coringa from the map. The disaster highlighted the vulnerability of coastal communities to tropical storms. It underscored the need for early warning systems and resilient infrastructure. Coringa's fate remains a cautionary tale for coastal cities worldwide. On May 12, 2008, Sichuan, China, was rocked by a magnitude 7.9 earthquake. The quake triggered thousands of landslides, burying villages and blocking roads. Over 69,000 people died and millions were left homeless. Schools, hospitals, and homes collapsed, compounding the tragedy. The disaster caused billions in damage and tested China's emergency response. The Sichuan earthquake highlighted the importance of building codes and disaster preparedness in seismically active regions. Its legacy is one of loss, resilience, and lessons learned. In 1900, Galveston, Texas was a thriving port city, until disaster struck. A Category 4 hurricane, with winds over 130 miles per hour, slammed into the city. With little warning, a massive storm surge inundated Galveston, sweeping away homes and businesses. Victorian-era buildings were destroyed and the city's streets became raging torrents. The hurricane claimed between 6,000 and 8,000 lives, making it the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Galveston was left in ruins, its future forever changed. The tragedy spurred advances in hurricane forecasting and coastal defenses. Galveston's story is a sobering lesson in the power of nature. These disasters remind us of nature's immense power and the resilience of humanity in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Each event, a stark reminder of our planet's awesome forces, teaches us valuable lessons about preparedness, adaptation, and the importance of respecting the delicate balance of nature. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history's greatest natural disasters. By remembering these events and understanding their causes, we can strive to build a safer and more resilient future for all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more incredible stories from our world.